Well, welcome back to the homestead. It's November 24th, 2016, and I'm out here trying to see if I can get a couple of fig trees planted. I've got two of these brown turkey fig trees, and what I'm going to do is plant one of them up here in the yard next to the house, and then another one a little farther out away from the house where I intend to put some chicken coops and stuff. So I've had trouble with fig trees in the past. I had a different variety, and I can't seem to keep that alive through the winter up here in Arkansas. I think the winters get just a little bit too cold for it. And I wish I had transplanted these a little earlier in the year than what I am. But in an effort to try and keep them alive through their first winter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plant them, and then I'm going to do a deep mulch with some wood chips around them to try and help keep the roots of the plant warm throughout the winter. And we'll have to see whether or not that works. But I believe with the brown turkey being a little more cold hardy and then keeping thick mulch on them, I think they'll go ahead and make it through the winter just fine. So let's go ahead and get started on planting them. Alright, so here's the hole I've got dug, and you can tell it's really not as large as it ought to be, but that's partly because we have such rocky soil up here. Just from the small hole that I dug, you can see this is the pile of rocks that I've already gotten out of it. So digging a hole twice the size of this pot, yeah, it's not going to happen today. But I think this hole will do well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I've got the hole backfilled so that the level that the tree is currently planted is the same as the ground around it. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and take it out of the pot and then pull this loose soil back in around that. If you've got a lot of roots that are circling the pot, you can kind of rough them up there to break them out of that circular pattern. This one really isn't very root bound though, so we're pretty good like it is. Now I've got a little soil in there. I want to kind of level the tree. Okay, so the first fig tree here is in the ground, but the next thing I want to do is I want to put some wood ash around it, because the fig tree likes more of an alkaline soil than an acidic soil, and wood ash will lower the acidity of your soil. So what I've got is just a barrel of ashes from leaves and tree limbs around the house that we've gathered up and burned, and then we just shoveled the ashes into this bucket. And I'll just put a few shovelfuls of that around the tree, and then we'll go and get some wood mulch to put around it. Alright, we've got a good dose of wood ashes around it now, and the next thing will be for me to get the wood chips to mulch it with. So let me go get them. So that's the first of the 2 fig trees planted. Now it's too late in the day for me to be able to film planting the second one, but it'll be all the same steps as this one. And I really believe with the amount of mulch that I've got around this, that this should do pretty well throughout the winter. The main concern is just having the roots freeze on it, and with this wood mulch on there, as it decomposes, it puts out a little bit of heat, and that raises the temperature of the soil under it, which is where the roots of this fig tree are. So hopefully that'll keep the fig tree from getting too cold this winter if we have a very harsh winter. And if it does, then this coming spring this tree should really take off. You can see the number of figs that I just cut off of it, and it's spent its entire life in a pot so far. So once it gets out into the soil and gets established, it should really take off well. So y'all check back, and we'll update you later on how it's doing.